for the longest. And at some point when I was in school, I was feeling depressed and going through just various anxieties, and I ended up seeing a professional, and it was very very helpful. And as much as you mentioned, yeah, it can be taboo in many communities. At this point, I certainly, especially as authentic as I am with myself now, I would certainly be open to speaking to someone on a continual basis, just because I think it is it's needed. It's needed to really assess and address those deep-seated underlying issues that may be embedded somewhere deep down in our core and affecting the way that we treat each other, the decisions we make, and we don't even realize it. So for that reason alone, man, listen, I'll tell anyone, if you feel it, go talk to somebody, like, for real, because it's certainly the way to go. Forget the ego, forget the machismo. It's really about being your most true, authentic self, and addressing those things, so that you can be the best you that you can be out here for yourself, and then for those that you love.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you said, it's all about dropping the ego, and
Yeah,
saying,
absolutely.
to do this for,
and the stigma,
Right. And we're human. And so being able to talk to somebody about that loss, and I appreciate you even saying, look, it took me like 10 years or so just to get to that space of really fully grieving in a different way. Like, you were grieving in one way, right? So maybe it was a matter of, I'm going to push this to the side so I can keep moving forward. So that is a form of grieving. But then to get to the point of stepping into your authenticity of, this is what I've been feeling, this is what I've been experiencing, but I've been kind of pushing it to the side. And like you said, those things kind of run behind the scenes. They become very subconscious. And it's only until we shine light on them that then we can essentially, I wouldn't even say, we'll really acknowledge and work with them. Now we have something to work with. And it brings me to the introspective part, because what you're saying is there was a part of you that said, I've got to look inward before I look outward towards anybody and what they can do for me. So what was that
100%
process for you?
100%. And it's something that I'm still, learning and applying. It's there. It's there inside the whole time. We just have to be ready, able, willing, and courageous enough to listen. There's a lot of noise. I'm
telling you, and like you said, like, it's ongoing. It's a process. It's not like a one and done type of thing. It's not, I did my introspective work for the day, and I'm done for the next 10 years or 5 years. Or
it reminds me of something I read in a book that said, you can't just read, these books and things once. You have to, continue to refer to them, because, it's like food for the soul and for the brain. It's food, right? And so with food, you don't say, well, I ate once. You know what I mean? Like, like, you hungry? No, I ate 2 years ago. No. Like, you read that book? Well, I read that book 2 years ago. No, like, it's a constant, ongoing thing. And so I totally agree.
It reminds me of, like, even when you hear a song and you can hear that same song over and over and over again, but when you say, it might hit you a little bit, and just because you're in a different mental and emotional space. So I agree. So tell me, like, we see you're on your way to an event. Always on the go.
Sorry.
Brother's always on the go. No need to apologize. I appreciate being able to squeeze us into your we lost you for a minute, but I appreciate you being able to squeeze us. There you go.
Can you see me?
There you go.
Awesome. Welcome to our world.
You've arrived. And just a side note, I know you're going to my alma mater, HU. Howard U.
HU?
They
gonna kill me for saying it.
Right?
I didn't earn the right to use that.
You didn't. You went where you went. No, I'm just playing.
But haircut right across the street.
All right. So by proxy, then you're
yeah. Yeah, I'm an honorary alum.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, do me a favor and tell me about being open with people and like sharing your story. What has that been like for you?
Actually, it's funny because, when it comes to my story and some of those intimate details, I'm pretty, I'm pretty open about this stuff, man. And I've only received favorable feedback. And what I mean is, people hear me.
Say that one more time. You said people.
Yeah. People have been receptive, and people have also been, um, you know, I guess, moved to also share in return. There is a kinship in the struggle, oftentimes, because uh, none of us are islands, and often what we experience at just the human experience. Is true across the board for so many. And so when you are in a position that you open up and you're your most authentic self, what I find is that relationships and bonds are actually formed and strengthened in those places, as opposed to trying to put on and save face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you ever like opened up to somebody and they shut down?
I don't think so. I believe the closest to it was opening up to someone who didn't quite understand it, and they became saddened. Right? They were, a bit upset, at some of, the things I had to do, but I had to let them know, like, hey, this is my tailor-made journey, and I'm not sad about it. I don't want you to be sad about it, but hopefully this helps you to understand, some of what I'm working with, and why I'm motivated the way I am and where I come from. So, but no, nothing that has ever, no shutdowns.
Yeah, you know what? And again, I appreciate you saying that because you said I'm not sad about it. And I
Right.
think people's tendency is to almost feel bad for you or feel sorry for you once you
Mm-hmm.
say something like that. And how do you
Right.
let them understand? How do you let them know, like, I'm okay? I
Right. Right.
don't walk around sad every day. And even though like there might be some sadness here and there that shows up or even running in the background from time to time, it doesn't necessarily mean that I approach my life from that point of view,
Right.
from an
Absolutely.
emotional state 100%.
Absolutely.
And part of that could be people's discomfort with grief and loss.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
So
I agree.
asking you this, how have you practiced being in the now, being present? Because again, we're talking when you were 10 years old, this happened. And here you are many years later where, how do you practice being present in the moment, whether it's through mindfulness, meditation, whatever it may be for you? What's your nowness of choice?
Well, I tend to be very intentional um, about my breath. And sometimes that is through meditative means. If I'm working out, if I'm running, I find my therapy at night when I'm going to bed. I'll put on certain vibrational tones and things that just kind of help me to release everything going on in the day and put my mind in a place of stasis and just freedom. And so meditation is a big part of that. The other part of that is the balance and harmony that I find in spending time with my little one. So Sundays, I pretty much shut my brain down, in terms of business, and I just go into straight family mode. And anybody who knows me well knows that, if you want to contact me, Sunday's not the time. And that for me just provides just that necessity of and a reminder of why I do it, right. So, we talked about my dad, but, a huge portion of building Crome was inspired by him, but it was also inspired by my daughter because I wanted to create something in his honor, but something that would outlive and outlast me, that she can then carry forward. You know what I mean? And so I'm caught right in the middle. I'm Crishon Jerome, um, son, of the first, and then I'm Crishon Jerome, dad to my little one. And so yeah, those those are my ways. Those are my methods. Those are my means. Outside of that, I just go, 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 go. And whatever I'm doing, I'm 1000% in the now of that thing. And that keeps me, that keeps me present.
Mm. Yeah, and what I'm hearing is it's a combination of past, present, and future. Really, it's how do you take what's happened in your past to be present for the now, and to then pass along to the next generation, to your daughter. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, only 2 more questions, then I'm gonna let you go because I know you're a busy man. So, first and foremost, any resources that you would share with the audience that have been vital to your growth and vital to your healing process? Anything that you'd like to share with the audience?
Therapy for sure has been a major, a major win for me during those times. And then most recently, just being in a place to where, to where I'm listening. I'm listening in, and hearing what that voice inside is saying, and staying true to it. That's been extremely helpful. Um, in terms of like actual tangible things, I, for the first time, well, actually not for the first time picking it up, but I only recently picked up the 4 Agreements book, and that already in just a week of having it has certainly started to transform some things for me, and I'm very grateful for it because it's forcing me to see the things that I have been sort of putting into practice, as well as the places that I want to be more intentional.
Oh, we lost them.
Hello?
There you go. Okay.
Hello?
You cut off on places where you want to be more intentional.
Hey, Doc, 1 second. It says I can't hear you. Let me, I'm not able to do this, can I? Give me 1 second. I'm not sure what's going on with the sound. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Great.
You were talking about, being more intentional.
Yeah. And so, what I'm able to do. Sorry, my phone was dying, so I'm like putting on this portable charger, which the case itself is not charged. It looks like. So, but yeah, it's 4 Agreements has been a major just helping me to really dive into this shift more, and like I said, to be more consciously aware of the things that I'm doing and the things that I can afford to do more of, and then also some things that I can afford to sort of release and relinquish.
So, do me a favor. Tell the listeners any words of advice that you would tell somebody who may be going through their own loss, and maybe it's fresh for them. But what kind of advice would you give to somebody who may be going through their own loss?
So for me, I would simply say, you know, it's tough right now, but it does get better. There's things related to time heals all, or things of that nature. But I think it's not just the passing of time, but it's being very intentional about the things that we can do in the meantime, right? And some of the things that can help invite healing is to surround yourself with those who love you. Surround yourself and immerse yourself in the things that you love, right? Create something, and perhaps create something in honor of that loved one. In that absence and in that void, plant a new seed. Plant a new seed and give it love and watch it grow, and leave something to help inspire others. Because I do believe that death being a part of life, we are here as a part of this cycle, right? This circle of life, if you will, Lion King reference. But But yeah, it's certainly